Hey everyone, Nicole Escobar here, and I have another book recommendation for you. Yes, I know I'm doing a lot of book recommendations lately, and it's not all the channel's going to be, but when I was looking for content, I decided to share some of my favorite books because some of my favorite influencers share some of their favorite books, and for me that helps me find different things that I enjoy reading. The book I want to recommend today is James by Percival Everett, and it is a new book released at the beginning of this year, I think in March of 2024, and it is narrated by Dominic Hoffman. Now, this book is a retelling of one of my favorite stories, Huckleberry Finn, by Mark Twain. And it takes one of the side characters, Jim the slave, and it changes his name into James because they're doing the story from his point of view, and instead of focusing on Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, who were fun characters, I absolutely love them, it is focusing on James and his journey, and it goes a little bit into the dynamics of slavery and the living conditions and working conditions of slaves at that time. But it also stays true to the Huckleberry Finn story for the most part. There's a couple parts I was like, can you add it? Just that part because I really enjoyed it. But, you know, overall he did a really good job. However, it does feature Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer and brings them back into the book, which I absolutely love. So you have a cast of familiar characters, and the dialogue. I have to go into the dialogue. He did such a good job with the dialogue because I don't know if you remember, but when Mark Twain opened the Huckleberry Finn book, and he's like, there are five. I believe it's 5 different dialects. He's like, I'm not just trying to write one dialect and I'm, misspelling and mispronouncing all these different things. I mean, it's not. What I'm typing is intentional. And Percival Everett does the same thing with this book with James. And this is one of the first books that I've ever previewed an audiobook, and it opened with a poem. The entire sample, I think it was like 3-4 minutes, was nothing but a poem. And it's a poem that, we're kind of all familiar with, but it's a more extended version, and it's interesting because the poem kind of just draws you in, and it doesn't even introduce the main character, doesn't introduce anything, but you feel kind of compelled to listen to the start of the book. And it starts by introducing James and Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, and right away you have the cast of characters that you like. But this book is different because we see the world from the point of James and how it was for him to live in a slave state and to be a slave, and what his friendship with Huckleberry Finn meant to him. And I think that at the end of it, Huckleberry Finn also grew as a person because of his friendship with James. But that's not ruining the end. At least not in my opinion. It's a little bit over 11 hours. A 5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Mark Twain. If you are a fan of Mark Twain, you should definitely read this book because it is like Scarlet for fans of Gone with the Wind. It gives you the ability to get more of your favorite characters, and he does a great job. Phenomenal, actually. Yeah, check it out. Definitely, the preview is awesome. So if you just want an interesting poem, just listen to it. Just listen to the audiobook preview and listen to the poem because it's interesting. At least in my opinion, it is interesting. Anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think. Do you like how he depicted James? Because for me, this was a very different look at a old character. It was a very modern retelling of, but it wasn't modern. But it was modern. But it's more modern in the woke sense that you go in and you look at things and the dynamics of this time. And very good. That's all I can say. Well, I mean, I could say more, but I don't want to ruin the story. Anyway, let me know.